was young, I was asthmatic. And my father used to think it was good for my asthma to take me down to sit on the pier and watch the fishing boats come in, late at night, 2, 3, 4 o'clock. I first came to New York when I was about 10, I believe, and shortly thereafter discovered the boat pond in Central Park. And I remember one of the first great influences on my boat building was Steve Tebow. Very early on, Steve would give me some ideas like tying a brick to the bottom of your boat isn't the best way to ballast it, and things like this. I remember some wisdom that Steve imparted on me early on. The model boat. I'm not involved in commodity, I'm involved in process. And I think that's the difference between the boats I build and others. And it's not that there's a qualitative difference. Rather, there's a difference in that some people are putting more on the outcome, I'm putting more on the process. So as far as learning to rig a square rigger, that was actually from working on square riggers and seeing how everything came together in the actual working boat. What makes it more than just kind of a piece of wall hanging is to make it so that it will respond in some way like a real boat, and that the rigging will do what it would on the real boat. When the wind fills the sail and all the lines suddenly come alive and the thing begins to respond as a living machine, the rigging is a good 90% of the boat, because that's what translates thought into action on the boat. One thing about the boats I build is I try and make them look much more like a boat that's being worked. That very often boat models look the way a boat would look the day before it's launched. And that the day it's launched, from that point forward, they get to look more and more like my models as they kind of lived in work. The other way is to go up to a community like Île aux Coudres, and there's a large number of wrecks on the island of these Quebecois lumber schooners. And there's one that really kind of stood out from the others in both my access to it, because it was on a part of the beach that was not well traveled, and you're not really allowed to go on these boats. I took at least 120 photographs of the boat, and a young fellow who lived near the boat built a ladder with me so we could get onto the boat and photograph it inside and all, and see how the framing was done. And from that I made a set of plans and built the boat. When I was about 90% finished, I brought the model up to the beach, and they had a picnic table nearby, and would set up there and work right from the boat itself. And in doing so, islanders would come over and admire the model, and you'd get to talking, and found that the last captain of the Amanda transport, Laurent Tremblay, was still alive, and brought the boat over for him to see, and he was just totally blown away by it. And he was showing me aspects of the boat that had either been taken away or covered up as the boat was wrecked. The process of building the boat in that way is as important as the outcome. You really get a sense of both where these boats have been and what has happened to them.